Hi and welcome to the Trading Bell. We are in the office of Dr. Hosea Kili, the MPA Chief Executive of CPF Group. We're here to have a conversation, not just about what CPF is doing, but also what is the place of pensions in this country. Welcome to the show. Let's get straight to the conversation. Dr. Hosea Kili, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here and in your office. And before we get into the details of what you're doing right here at CPF, I like creating an image of the importance and the significance of the savings culture and what the savings culture can actually enhance to ensure, because we're still touted that Kenyans are most of the population that retire poorly. What did you say on those sentiments?
I would definitely say that sentiment is true.
Yeah.
Kenyans, in a big way, do not save adequately. Mm-hmm. And also a big number of them also do not actually save anything. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons is that it is a belief that let life take care of itself. Mm-hmm. Because of lack of a culture or a historical background of saving. Yeah. And the fact that being Africans and growing up in the African continent, many of the people lived in a world whereby nature provided sustenance. Yeah. And it's possible to survive even if you don't do anything. Yeah. We also have the cultural, traditional belief that family will take care of you, and children will take care of you even more. So why save?
Yes, I see that. Yeah. I see that. Let's move on now straight to what you have been doing right here at CPF, and you have been actively forging strategic partnerships. You have been a very key proponent of that, and I've listened to some of your sentiments on this, especially in driving Kenya's economic growth. I'd like to ask you, how do initiatives like the Lindsay bond that we saw you at the NSC issuing, and the Usahihi Expressway, I've heard you mention some of these things as well, that you can finance this, the ever-strong capital, how does this demonstrate the role of pension funds in national development?
Thank you. Actually, the name of the bond we issued is Sukuk bond.
Sukuk, yes.
Sukuk is a Islamic terminology which refers to a bond, or which is a debt instrument issued and can be either listed or unlisted, but in the case of the Sukuk bond we arranged, it's intended to be listed, and it's actually listed at the unquoted segment of the stock exchange.
Yes, the USP.
Now, so the bond is predicated on a non-interest investment structure, or the returns are not based on interest, because that one is considered to be not acceptable to the Islamic finance. But it's predicated on profit, a sharing of profit. So that is what we raised. It was organized by Lindsay as a trust. And the purpose for it was to finance infrastructure, which is houses for the KDF soldiers.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much for that. You know, as pensioners, most of them are always concerned. Is our pension going to be invested well? Can we get a better return? Because sometimes when they see the returns coming back, they have the questions of, could we have done better? Because they hope to really invest in instruments, or really that their savings will give them a good fruit even as they age. You as well are managing 280 billion assets under your own management, and as CPF Group, you've been touted to embrace alternative investments. I just wanted you to paint some color into that. And how are these asset classes contributing to your financial sustainability and long-term returns for your pension funds?
I don't want to say that right now we are doing enough of the alternative investments. And I think it's very important for the viewer to understand that when you say alternative investments, we're really talking about that non-traditional investment instruments. What is traditional to most of us is equity, either private equity, listed equity, which is in the stock market, or you come to the fixed investments like treasury bonds, infrastructure bonds, and corporate bonds. Those are considered to be traditional. But when you come to non-traditional, like derivatives, you like direct investment or indirect investment into property. You also go to investment in some select PE funds, also investment in some of the infrastructure models, which are like structured like PPP. Those are all considered to be alternative investments. Now, the challenge is that one, we have a very low capacity. We don't have enough capacity of understanding by the owners of capital. The owners of capital are our trustees who are managing the pension funds on behalf of the members, the beneficiaries. So capacity is a challenge to understand this complex area of alternatives. So one of the things we're trying to do is have them really educated and sensitized on how this can be done. We want them to gain an appetite to get into even offshore, where we are permitted to invest as pension funds even more, about 15% of our assets, but we hardly do so. Mostly because of lack of knowledge or enough knowledge, and also the fear of the unknown, that this is offshore, is far away. How do we know that it's safe? And then others is because of the return sometimes also in some of those areas are not as high as what we are getting locally, particularly when it comes to traditional assets. And when it comes to that, we as CPF Group, we really are pushing the agenda on considering of alternative investment. So we are the first ones to do quite a lot of private equity investments. We've done quite a lot of that. We've also done direct equity investment. We acquired shares even in some of the banks which have not been even up to be listed. And of course, we have profited from that. Right now, we are one of the only few funds locally who have invested into equity into a mining company, a gold mining company. And we are also doing very well there. We also did the first REIT, which we are called Lab Trust Imara High REIT, which we converted our building, including this one where we are now having a meeting. We put it into the REIT, so it's a real estate investment trust asset, and people can buy into it directly and also through the stock market. The second thing we have done, of course, we have done that Sukuk bond, and we intend to do more. We are also we are considering how to get into other investments which normally most local market does not get into, and that is into some of these new areas like technology, into areas like which are giving high returns. For example, power sector is a very good area, and we are working on getting investment there. We're also getting into direct, investment in plantations, agricultural plantations, which are very lucrative, but hardly too many people consider to invest there. And we are also considering to invest in sustainable investments like forests as one of the areas we are going to put our investment into. So we have many options. And unfortunately it will take time because you have to sensitize and carry along all your members, also the trustees, and then the fund managers away from the traditional instruments.
True that. Thank you so much for that. Quite an array of investments that you brought in. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. I feel like the pension-backed securities and asset-backed investments are becoming more prominent. That's from where I sit. That's what I feel. Okay. I don't know whether I'm wrong or so, but however, what do you think? Why is it that they enhance more investment opportunities, or are they good at managing risk? What's your opinion on that?
You know, many of us, of course, comfortably invest in equities, which are, these are shares in companies which are either listed or unlisted.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that.
Sure.
But the only thing is that in most of those investments, there's really no substantial underlying asset other than the goodwill and the earning capacity of that company.
Yeah.
If the worst were to come, you hardly will find any serious asset underlying that investment. But when you come to asset-backed securities,
yes,
the key word is asset.
Yes,
it's an asset, a real asset which is worth something behind it. Like for example, one of the asset-backed security is actually a real estate investment trust. Because when I tell you that you acquired shares, units in this building,
you can see it, you
can touch it. And even if anything happens, you can come and sell and get your money. Now, that's the beauty about asset-backed securities. So basically, we want to convince people in Kenya, both the institutional investors and the retail investors, that an asset-backed instrument is actually the safest investment.
Okay.
It's as good, if not better than even the treasury bonds.
Okay.
Yes.
I love that.